Congressman, thanks for being on the show.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Now, you stuck your neck out politically and personally to put politics over personal benefit, over party. Some would say country over party, to speak out against Trump, despite being a congressman for the Republicans. Why the did you do that?
I ask myself that every day. No, look, I really had no other option. I mean, so I wear on my wrist the name of a guy, Andreas O'Keefe, who I knew who was killed in Iraq, and I'm an Iraq veteran. And I just remember thinking when I ran for Congress the first time, if we're going to ask young people to be willing to die for a country, like to be willing to fight and die, the ultimate sacrifice, if I go into politics, I have to be willing to give my career for the same cause. It's such a minor sacrifice in comparison to what we ask people to do every day.
Sure, but what was your problem with Trump?
Well, I don't know. You know, the fascism, the overthrowing the government, you know, those kinds of things.
I mean, you would think that's a pretty big issue, but I guess not big enough. I mean, you have insight because you were in Congress from 2011 till 2023, I think, and so you have kind of behind-the-scenes access. You talk to these people all the time, and I think it's very popular to say America has never been more divisive than it is now. You have perspective on it. You know, you've been there, you were there for a long time, and you were working there. Is that true? Was it divisive when you first went in?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's, you know, behind the scenes, it's kind of like any job. So people will fight on the air, you know, within Congress, and then when the cameras come off, you shake each other's hands, maybe go out for a drink. That's happened less lately. I mean, there's a real division that's started to creep in where people just hate each other now because of political differences. I mean, they can't stand to be around each other. But I think if America actually saw the behind the scenes of what was happening, they'd be like, man, I can't believe they're manipulating us to fight each other as deeply as we are out here when they back there are just kind of playing the game. And it's really a sad state of affairs.
Okay, so your experienced opinion is that it is getting more divisive in Congress.
I think the country certainly, and in Congress, yes. I think they're just starting to. I mean, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene there, for goodness sakes. I mean, like, who would get along with her in real life?
Well, right? I mean, would the party people get along with her?
Yeah,
would they?
They love her now because she raises money for them, because she goes out there and gets attention. And so, yeah, but when she was there, when I was there initially, she was a pariah until she started getting on TV and tweeting and then she became pretty popular in the party somehow.
But like genuine, like, you know, professionally popular, or would they actually be, are they now friends? Like,
I think there's probably some that like to, you know, that would be a friend with her because access to power, but yeah, mostly it's just professional.
And in your, again, expert opinion, how much of this is, I like to believe that it's just internet bullshit that gets taken into real life. And in real life, we don't behave like this. But for some reason, these people have managed to take the comment section and bring it, you know, so how much of that is real animosity, and how much of it is just internet mentality?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a significant amount of it is, this is kind of the untold secret. Politicians watch Twitter. And so when you see things happening on Twitter, this way, I mean, Donald Trump was the master at this. You'd see some conspiracy pop up and he'd give a nod to it. And what's happened is leaders have gone from like supposed to be leading and talking about, you know, trying to direct opinion, right? Trying to lead us to a better place, to now following insanity. And it's basically like a dog now chasing its tail out in the middle of traffic. And I think that's what you're seeing.
On that note, like, what is the solution? I mean, in your opinion, how can Americans come together and bridge this kind of political?
The solution is in all of us. I mean, and I'm not trying to sound like esoteric and like big word, like, really, we control government. It's truly government for, of, and by the people. We've got to quit voting for these clowns that decide they want to go there and be more famous than they want to do good things for this country. We need to make sure our presidents actually care about something more than their own ego and more than their own narcissism. They care about the country. And I mean that. Like,
You're asking for too much. You're asking for too much here.
I truly believe that America can take our political system back, but we have to believe we can. And we have to say, enough of you abusing us for money, for follows, for likes. We demand mature, grown-up government.
Okay. So, yeah. And you're here to talk about power of the poll. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so look, one of the most important things in an election is just the ability to actually do that election. And you think about poll workers, especially on election day, They're out there, grinding down every day. They're starting at whatever, 6, 7 in the morning, going till night to make sure that you can vote, to make sure the lines are moving and they're done quickly. That is the bulwark of making sure that an election is free, fair, and accurate. And so Power of the Polls is about recruiting 1 million poll workers to work and defend of the next generation of poll workers. In some states, you can be as young as 16 or 17 to go work in the polls. It's a great way to serve your community, to connect to the community. And so powerofthepolls.org, go there, and it's a great time to sign up to do this.
Yeah, and it's kind of a civic duty.
It is.
But
and
it's
you get paid.
Oh, you get paid?
You can, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then forget my next question. I was gonna say it feels a bit like a thankless task at the moment to try to power American democracy. Is like, why go through that right now?
It does feel like a thankless task, and that's the sad thing. Is especially the next generation, which is what Power of the Polls is focused on. They've been so beaten down on democracy. Democracy to them is just like, well, it's just what people say to go after each other. We have to inspire that generation because, look, I really believe this next generation is going to be the ones to take the keys out of the hands of the people that have been holding the keys to power too long. And there's no better way to get started than to be a young person and see how democracy works in the nuts and bolts.
Right. And if you're feeling frustrated by the system and you don't know where to start, this sounds like a way to kind of, look, I just want to get involved.
Yeah.
I don't want to get bogged down in some weird culture war. I just want to help my country.
And look, and you're going to be working with people that have different political views than you, all committed to democracy. If we can all agree on that basic thing, I think there's no limits to the future of this country. We just have to convince ourselves of it.
So, what? And, as someone coming from a conservative background, why is it that whenever we talk about voting access, election access, why does that always feel like a left issue more than a right?
It's crazy. It's because for whatever reason, they feel threatened in the GOP that the more people vote, the more in danger they are. And I think we know why, because what they're talking about today, what you see them out there discussing, is not what the vast majority of Americans want. The thing they can hope is to turn their base out. Look, I think it should be a nonpartisan or bipartisan or whatever issue to say, if you have a right to vote in this country, we should make it as accessible and easy for you to vote. And then, by the way, if you can't win, then go out and get better ideas to get people to vote for you. That's the way you can win an election.
What I love about having you on the show is, we get to talk to people outside our own echo chamber, I think, a little bit. I mean, what is your conservative argument for voting for a Democratic president?
Oh, it's really easy. I believe in democracy. Yeah. I mean, democracy I was there on January 6th. I had to live through that. Standing for the Constitution, standing for democracy. There is nothing more conservative than that, and Donald Trump is the exact opposite of that. So for me, Kamala Harris is going to defend that democracy, and I think every Republican that takes their viewpoint seriously, old school Republican, not whatever this new thing is, should be voting the same way.
Well, thank you. Congressman, I really wish you weren't former congressman. I wish you were current congressman. I wish you could run again. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. And thank you for trying to do something for our country, Power of the Polls. Today is National Poll Worker Recruitment Day. So please consider joining us to Power of the Polls this November by signing up at the link below. Representative Adam Kinzinger, everybody.